Hey artists, today we're going to make our own snowy village, and we're going to have this wild snowstorm swirling behind the village. So follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to create your own masterpiece. All right, the first thing we're going to do for our snowy night picture is we are going to draw a kind of wavy line to show the snow in front of our buildings. Just really lightly I drew that. The next thing I'm going to do is draw some rectangle shapes. Some will be really tall, and some might be shorter. And then we'll have some that go up, and some that are wider. And we're just drawing some different shape rectangles across our page. Awesome. So we have our snow in the front. We have our different buildings right here. The next thing that we're going to do is leave some little areas for snow. To do that, take a wavy line and have it kind of go over the edge, and there's that snow that is just kind of sitting on top of the building. Now you can see that that snow kind of goes over into the other buildings, and this is why we're using a pencil, so we can erase that part and show that kind of snow that's sitting on top of the building. And here's some more wiggly squiggly snow, and erasing that line from inside. All right, look at all that snow sitting on top of these buildings. And we just kind of erase that top line. And have that nice little piece of snow sitting on top of the buildings. The next thing that we want to add is going to be the windows. So we're going to have some windows that are little rectangles. Now I'm going to tell you, if you put a whole lot of windows on here, what's going to end up happening is then you have to color all around them, and that might drive you a little crazy. So you want to make sure that you can put a lot of windows, but don't forget you have to color around them too. So on this one, maybe I'll have 3 layers, but we're just using a rectangle shape, and we're going to add different rectangles in our building to show where the windows are. And the next step will be that we're going to color each of these buildings in with our crayons or colored pencils. And maybe this building has tall, skinny windows. But we just want to make sure we are adding some kind of window. This has really big square windows to each building. And then maybe some smaller windows. Got it. All right. Don't want to forget this last little guy. All right. Now we've got our snow, we've got our buildings, and we've got our snow on top. And the next step is going to be to go ahead and color these buildings in. So choosing any colors you want, you're going to go ahead and go in and color in the buildings. Now, a lot of people like to outline the building just to make it have a bolder look. You can do that. You do not have to. So this is an option. If you want to go along and outline the outline of the building, you can. Or you can just go in with your colored pencil or crayon and color that part in. So it's going to be up to you. This just kind of makes it look a little bolder, so that'll be your choice. Maybe I'll do some of the buildings with it and some of the buildings without. So let's say I'm going to color this building in purple. I'm going to just be careful to make sure I go and leave those windows white. And careful not to get it in my snow, because that snow on the buildings is what makes this winter night look neat. And then I'm just carefully going around the snow up there and filling this building in with color. Colored pencils work. You could use markers. It's your choice. You can use a mix of different things. But we are going to go through and color in every single building. There's my first one. Then I can choose a different color. Like I said, you can use a marker, you can use crayons, colored pencils, but we're going to go through and we're going to color in all of these buildings, different colors. And make sure that you don't color in your windows, because you want to keep those with white space. Not getting it on the snow. Just making sure I get this all colored in. Alright, that's 2 buildings down. And I just want to go ahead and continue doing this to every single building, so every building has color. Now you've got your buildings colored in, you left the windows white, and you left that beautiful snow on the top, which looks awesome. Now is where it gets fun, because we make our sky look really wild. We are going to take our blue marker and we're going to make 3 different swirls. The swirly line is going to go around. Don't run into your building. When you get to it, stop. Don't run into it. I'll have another one over here. Again, when you get over to that building, you'll want to make sure you don't run into it. And one more over here. Now, there are the 3 big swirls in the sky. So now that we have the 3 large swirls, we're going to fill in the sky with more of the swirl lines. So I'm just going to have it kind of continue going all the way up to the building. So I'll have it come around, and then I'll go around here and here, making sure I don't get it in my little snow, but that my swirl lines keep going. And then I'll have this one keep going here. So you're just kind of imagining that these swirls keep going around the first swirls. Whoop. Around our buildings. All right, that looks so neat. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get out our blue crayon. Where are your blue crayons? And then we're going to trace around the edge of these lines with our blue crayon, pushing kind of hard. So we're just kind of tracing along these blue lines, just pushing a little harder, not getting it on our snow, but tracing around. Just pushing hard up against that. Up against these lines, we're just adding a little extra. Oh, sometimes if you push too hard with a crayon, it will break. But it'll still work. All right. Now that I've went and I kind of went over all those lines, the next step is I'm going to gently color in the whole sky with my blue crayon, but making sure that I don't get it on the snow. So I'm careful to go around those beautiful snowy rooftops. And then I'm just lightly coloring. And what's cool is when you color lightly, the darker part that you colored on still shows through, and it gives extra dimension to your picture. So I'm being careful to go around my snowy rooftop, not getting the snow with that blue sky color, and gently coloring over the sky. And it almost looks like a little winter storm behind our snowy nighttime village. And so we're just going to continue coloring lightly with our blue crayon. Lightly, lightly. Filling it in and not leaving any white space up here at all. And this side's starting to look really cool. So I'm going to turn my paper. And again, I'm being very gentle and careful around that snowy top of the building to make sure I don't get any blue on that snow or on my building for that matter. Just carefully coloring. Almost done going around the edge here. And then I will just continue coloring and filling in that background. So we're just going to keep coloring until the whole sky has blue. Now that you have your whole sky all colored in with those swirls in the back, the next thing we can do is take our blue-green crayon and very, very gently, we're just going to kind of color up along this line. And then just very gently fading it out. Just adding a little shadow on our snow. Just a little shadow on our snow to separate where the buildings are and where this snowy, snowy hill starts. I'm coloring so, so lightly, friends. And then I just kind of go back and add just a little bit. And that just makes that snow kind of pop out. Something else we can do, usually I like to add some white paint, but I know a lot of my friends don't have paint at home. But we can kind of go through and just make some little circles like this with our purple crayon. And it can give the illusion that there's something falling in the air here. And this will be kind of our finishing touch to our snowy nighttime city or village. If you do have white paint at home and you'd like to add some little white paint dots at the top, you can feel free because that would look really nice too. but adding these little purple circles to kind of make it look like snow is forming in these wild swirly storm clouds above our sleepy little snowy town. And then we will be all finished with this picture. Oh, it's looking so cute. Little open circles. All right. We now are completely finished with our picture. I think it's looking really, really cool. I love all the texture in the sky and our snowy little village. I can't wait to see what you create.